So I used to be in IT, and I got out of it because I'll be honest with you, I'm not particularly good at IT stuff. But I am in a situation where I am around a lot of... It seems like every 5 minutes we're generating umpteen gigabytes of data, and they want to store it on a drive. Everybody wants access to everything all the time forever, and it's just not going to happen. Okay? We don't have the money to just keep stacking data, whether we're going to use it or not, and just never get rid of it. So we have to go back through it. It's like pulling teeth with people. Well, we need to get rid of X, Y, and Z piece of data. And like, well, no, what if we need it? Well, do we need it? It's not what if. You can wait for the what if thing. Find out, do we need that data, and can we get rid of it? So the best way to protect your data is to delete it and not have it left or laying around anywhere. That'll protect the data. If you're going to need the data again, you need to encrypt it. You need to back it up, get it off-site backups, that sort of thing. Well, that's great. Most of the backups we do are file backups, and it's just pulling files off of a drive and sticking them somewhere. And what we're trying to get people to get used to is our archived backups. So we run a full backup, which is you actually pull off every file. It's not incremental. It doesn't just pull the new stuff and then add it to an old backup. So you run a full backup, and then you delete the stuff that's there that you don't use every day. So you have a backup of it in order to put, oh crap, look at this problem we have. We got to go research it with using this old data. Can we pull the data off the tape? Yes. Yes, we can. We go pull the old data off the tape, stick it somewhere, and then run our tests or run our forensics or whatever the hell. Which we haven't had to do yet, and I hope we never have to do, to be honest. So then we have these other kinds of backups. We have all kinds of databases that track things. We have all kinds of computers sticking information from a computer into another computer, and this is all automated. It's just automated data generation is what it really ends up being. And so, okay, we have databases chock full of information about our builds, about our code, about everything in the world. And there's something different. You can't just copy a database off of a drive and stick it on a backup and then restore it, because that's the whole database. And to be honest with you, it may not be useful. What you really need in a database, especially when you're trying to do any kind of forensics, you need a history of what's going on. You need to know how things were added, in what order were they added. You need to reconstruct a database. And that sort of backup, it not only takes longer, but it is actually far more intense. And it may be far more drive intense as well. It may take you a lot more space than the original database did. Because again, you're trying to establish a history with the database. So that not only can you reconstruct the database, but you can reconstruct how the database was moving along. So sometimes that's a very important piece of information, is what happened here that caused this to happen to here, that then caused this to happen to here. So you have this screw up in the database, and you're trying to backtrack and see what happened to the database in order to fix it. Okay, so you have all these, all this erroneous data. Well, you can't just fix the data. You have to track back what happened in order to say, okay, this thing happened 3 weeks ago, got into the database and caused this cascading mess to happen down at the other end. So that's very important for database backups, that you have this ability. I liken it to backing up a building. You have a building made of bricks and pipes and all this stuff. Well, you have the original building, and then you have every part on that building that's been replaced or updated or fixed. And you can't just save states, really. You almost have to save every single change that's been made to that building in order to truly reconstruct a building back to a state. Or in better words, if you have a building that had let's say a murder in it, you would want to say you would want to have a look at the building before and look at the building after, and then pull your CSI stuff and then see, okay, well, what happened to the building when? That sort of thing. That's actually a really terrible analogy. That didn't come out nearly as well as it was in my head. Anyway, database backups are far more intense than just file backups. And one of our IT folks was trying to tell me, do you have any idea how much stuff you're backing up every month? I looked at all the stuff we tell them to back up, and they pull it off. They do a great job. And I'm like, how many tapes are we having? It's like, well, they're off-site. They grab the tapes, they make backups every so often, then they ship them off-site with some service. And it's very important to have one of those services, man, because I don't know where they're keeping all these tapes. I don't want to know. They have a warehouse somewhere full of tapes. Oh gosh, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they keep track of it all. They must have databases of their own. But anyway, that all just kind of fell apart. Oh well, databases are harder to back up than normal files. That's my point. But, and you want forensic data laying around. But we do it every day. It's a fact of life. If anything goes wrong, people in the world expect you to have backups. Even off of my phone, I try to back up all the data off here onto the cloud somewhere, and I don't even have a mechanism here at the house to save it. Because really, saving something in my house, saving a piece of data in my house, like all my pictures or something like that, it's no good because honestly, the most likely bad thing to happen is someone's going to break into my house and steal all my electronics. That's the most likely bad thing that's going to happen to me, God forbid. That would suck. I wanted to even say that. Or, even worse, burn down or something like that. The horrible shit you have to think about in order to ensure yourself to keep your data. Because it's not just family pictures and stuff. It's important documentation. I try to take pictures of the important documents and stow them somewhere encrypted so that, I have them if I need them. But, so I don't even try to store them here. I store them off into the world. And God knows where those computers are. Oh well, ramble, and rant. Thank you for watching.